So, you've downloaded a bunch of English learning apps. You're putting in the time, but you're still not seeing real improvement in your speaking. If you feel like you're just drowning in a sea of apps, you're in the right place. We're going to cut through all that noise and build a simple, powerful toolkit that uses AI to actually get you speaking better. Let's do this.
Does this sound familiar? You're doing all the right things, you've got the apps, you're doing your daily lessons, maybe some flashcards, but when you actually have to speak, something just isn't clicking. You feel busy, but you don't feel like you're getting better. Well, that feeling is real, and trust me, there's a very good reason for it.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's something we can call the practice paradox. The problem isn't that we don't have enough tools or apps, the problem is how we're using them. We're doing these passive little exercises instead of building real speaking fluency. And if you feel this way, you are definitely not alone.
Okay, so how do we break out of this loop? It all starts with one really crucial mindset shift. It's not about finding some magical new app. It's about completely changing our approach from just passively learning about English to actively practicing it.
Here is the absolute key. You have to start treating every learning session like it's a real conversation. And that means you've got to speak out loud, even when you're by yourself. It means you have to be okay with making mistakes. And most importantly, it means listening to how people actually talk, not just how a textbook says they should. And this whole idea of using your phone for active, on-the-go practice, it actually has a name in the academic world. It's called MAL, which stands for Mobile Assisted Language Learning. It's really just a fancy way of saying you're using your phone to turn any moment, your commute, a coffee break, into a chance to really learn.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. The research totally backs it up. A recent study found that English students using this approach were really happy with it. I mean, look at these numbers. Out of 5, they rated teaching quality and user-friendliness at almost a 4, and it kept them motivated. So, this proves that when you use your phone the right way, it can be a seriously powerful tool. All right, so with that active mindset locked in, let's build our toolkit. And the good news? You don't need a dozen different apps. You just need a few key tools, where each one has a very specific job to do in your practice routine. First up, we need a tool that hones in on the very foundation of being understood, your pronunciation. This is all about fixing those small, nagging mistakes that can make it hard for people to understand what you're saying. And for this job, Elsa Speak is just incredibly effective. Its AI doesn't just check your grammar, it listens to the little details in your speech, kind of like a real tutor would. But the real magic here is the instant visual feedback. You can literally see how your pronunciation compares to a native speaker's waveform. It makes it so much easier to understand what you need to fix.
Okay, so you're working on your pronunciation. Great. What's next? Well, you've got to practice with actual people, because speaking isn't just about making the right sounds, right? It's about the back and forth, the rhythm of a real conversation.
And for this, HelloTalk and Tandem are fantastic. HelloTalk connects you with native speakers who want to learn your language, so it's a true exchange. You can text and voice messages, or even jump on a live call. This is how you learn the slang, the idioms, the way people really talk. Tandem works in a similar way, connecting you to a huge global community. Both are amazing for closing that gap between what you learn in a book and what you hear on the street. Now for our third tool. Imagine having a personal tutor on call, 24/7, who never gets tired of practicing with you. That's where AI, like ChatGPT, becomes your secret weapon. It lets you practice real-life situations again and again without any of the pressure you might feel with a real person.
And look how simple it is. First, you just pick a scenario, something you'd actually do in real life. Second, give ChatGPT a clear prompt so it knows what to do. Third, and this is the most important part, use your phone's voice-to-text feature to speak your replies out loud, actually say the words. And then, at the end, just ask it for feedback. It's a super safe, super effective way to build up your confidence.
And hey, if you're not sure what kinds of situations to practice, you don't have to guess. There are great resources out there like Learn English with Joe that give you ready-made prompts for all kinds of things, from job interviews to just making small talk. It gives your practice real structure.
Okay, so we've got the right mindset and we've got our 3 key tools. The final piece of the puzzle is putting it all together into a simple, daily plan that you can actually stick with even when life gets crazy.
Here it is, your 15-minute daily speaking workout. That's it, just 15 minutes. You start with 5 minutes on Elsa to warm up your pronunciation. Then, you spend 5 minutes on HelloTalk. Find someone and send them a quick voice message. And you finish with 5 minutes on YouTube using a technique called shadowing.
All you do is watch a short video, and after each sentence, you pause and repeat it out loud, trying to copy the speaker's rhythm and intonation exactly. It's short, it's balanced, and it's so effective.
And if you think shadowing sounds a little too simple to work, get this. One student improved their official IELTS speaking score by a massive 1.5 points in just 2 months. And what did they do? They just shadowed TED Talks every single day. That is the incredible power of active, consistent practice.
Now, knowing what to do is half the battle. The other half is knowing what to avoid. A lot of these apps are packed with features that feel productive but do absolutely nothing to improve your real-world speaking skills.
So let's just be super clear about the red flags. Effective practice means you're speaking out loud and you're getting feedback. The gimmicks, that's any app that only lets you type your answers, has you practice with silly cartoon avatars, or makes ridiculous promises like learn English in your sleep. Just don't fall for it.
At the end of the day, here's what you need to remember when choosing your tools. Speaking English is not a multiple-choice quiz. Real conversation is spontaneous, so the best tools aren't the ones that just give you the answers. They're the ones that give you opportunities to speak, to listen, and to get corrected.
As we start to wrap this up, let's talk about the real goal here. So many of us get completely hung up on the idea of perfection, but that's not what communication is really about. It's time to kind of reframe what we're aiming for.
I want you to burn this quote into your memory. Say it with me. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to be understood. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. It's being able to get your ideas across clearly and with confidence. Real progress happens one conversation at a time. So here's your final action plan. Number 1, make that big shift from passive learning to active speaking. Number 2, build your simple toolkit with those 3 types of tools. Number 3, commit to that short daily practice, just 15 minutes. And finally, always remember the real goal. Just focus on being understood. So the power is literally in your hands now. You have the mindset, the tools, and the plan. I'll just leave you with this final thought. Using what we just talked about, what's the one conversation, whether it's with an AI or a real person, that you're going to start today?